Okay, I am back in my daughter's townhouse where a couple of months ago I installed that ceiling fan. And when I installed it, I said this would be a prime place to put in a smart fan control. Well, I'm back today to install the KASA Smart Fan Control, and I'm going to show you how to do that coming up. All right, let's talk about when you would want to use this fan control. So this is a situation where I've got a fan up there that has a separate light on it, and it's got two pull chains. So this is not a remote control fan. Purposely did not want remote control here because this is a townhouse and there's lots of other units in the area, and you get a lot of interference if you just get a normal remote control fan. So I really recommend going with a smart control because there's no confusion that way. You're not going to get any, it's not going to go on in the middle of the night or go off in the middle of the night because somebody else's control is conflicting with yours. All right, this is a KASA device. I really do like KASA devices. They work well. They're easy to install. And this one actually has just touch switches. So they're not physical dimmer bars, they're just touch. All right, this one's complicated. Look at that, it's got 5 wires behind it. It's really not that complicated. You've got white, black, that's your line, your neutral, and your ground. So this obviously is going to require a neutral. And then the other 2 wires are going to be basically for the lighting control and the fan control. All right, the red one is the lighting, and the yellow one is going to be for the fan. All right, so this is the wall switches here, and this one on this side is the one that controls the fan light. So we're going to leave that on, and that way it'll tell us if we've got the right circuit breaker. That's it! Now when I installed this fan last time, I knew that it had a hot that was, this was the line with the hot wire coming in. And then I connected, this is the fan wire to this screw, and this one, the red one, controlled the light. So these two go up to that ceiling box. This one is hot all the time, fan, light, and ground. So all I have to do is also find the neutral. But these are 4 of those 5 wires right here. Now the way you can tell, if you don't know which one is the hot wire, you can tell by looking in the box and seeing which one, which wire is wired with everything else. But you can also turn the power back on and use a multimeter or a non-contact voltage tester and just put it near this wire, and it will tell you if it is hot or live. All right, I had to pull out the dimmer next to it so that I could get all the neutrals out. So that's what all these white wires are. These are neutral. And I know these two. This black one goes to the fan, the red one goes to the lights. This is my hot all the time, and this is my ground. And then taking a closer look at the device, it says right on here, the black is the line, the white is neutral, the green wire is ground, the lighting load is the red wire, and the fan load is the yellow wire. So that makes it easy. So I'm just going to use the wire nuts that came in the box with the switch. It provided wire nuts and screws. And it also provided a plate as well. All the KASA switches come with these plates that are screwless. You don't see any screws, they just snap on. Unfortunately, that's not going to work for me because I've got 3 switches here. All right, so I like to connect the ground first. And then I've got the hot over here. And I always like to give them a tug. Then I know my whites are going to get all connected here. I'll do that one last. The red one is the lighting load. That's going to get connected to this red wire as well. So the yellow one is the one that goes to the fan, and that's what this black wire is. So the last thing I need to do is just take off this existing wire nut and add this neutral underneath it. All right, little tug, everything is good. And now I can turn the power back on and we'll give it a test. Okay, the power is back on and you can see it is blinking between white and red here. And I have the app open, the KASA app, and here I'm going to click plus, connect to a new device. This is a, let's see, it's a smart switch. It is the fan control and dimmer switch. We're going to say allow. Yes, I've installed it. It's already blinking white and red, and it's looking for the device. All right, it's going to connect to the same Wi-Fi that everything else connects to. All right, number 1 is the ceiling fan, number 2 is the dimmer switch. Almost done. Let's check our firmware. It needs an update. All right, I am going to let that update, and then when it's done, I'm going to turn off the breaker and put all these wires back in here, and then let's give it a test. All right, here you can see it is all installed and it works. You can put the fan on whichever setting you want. So this little button down the bottom here where those little icon is, that's actually a touch switch, and the dimmer part of it is here. So you can touch anywhere for whatever level you want, or just touch the icon for it to go on and off. Now in the app, you'll see it created 2 switches, the ceiling fan and the dimmer switch. Those are both in the main bedroom. And they're same device, but there's really 2 devices in one. So you can see I can turn on the dimmer and that goes on, and you can turn on the ceiling fan and that goes on. And you can control the brightness as well as the speed for both of them. So this is the speed 1, 2, 3, 4. And you can see that's moving at the same time. Okay, so I just turned it on with the app here. That's on speed 1, and I could turn it up to speed 4. Now, of course, the pull chain has to be on the highest setting in order for this to work. So that's a lot of wind. I don't need that much. So I keep it on speed 1. The nice thing about it is the app also has the ability to set timers, so you can have it go on and off automatically. You can also integrate this with either Google Home or Amazon Alexa. And they don't have one yet, but when they do, they're going to just connect their KASA app in the integration with the Alexa, and then that way they can use voice control. They can tell Alexa that, you know, good night, and she could turn lights off, and she could turn the fan on, whatever they need. That's the beauty of it. I really do recommend a smart fan control over a regular remote control. First of all, you're not going to lose anything because it's right on your wall. And secondly, it's not going to conflict with any of your neighbors. So that's a big problem when you live in a townhome. So trust me, you're going to want a smart control. Even if you don't ever do voice control, it's still more convenient to just touch it on the wall and everything works fine. One thing I forgot to mention for people with privacy concerns, that KASA devices are cloud optional, and you have to use the cloud and the app to set them up, but once they're set up, you can locally control these by some home automation hubs like Home Assistant. I've done that before, and all KASA devices support it. Now, obviously, if you disconnect them from the internet, you are not going to be able to use the app or any voice assistants, but that's a trade-off. If you want local control, you can have it. So, 2 things just to recap: that you can only use this switch, A, if you have a neutral, and B, if you have a 3-conductor wire going to your fan, which means you've got a black and a red, one for the light and one for the fan itself. And that's when you can use this switch. Hopefully you found this video helpful. If you did, leave me a comment down below, and give the video a thumbs up if you liked it, and I will see you in the next one. If you need shade on your deck or patio this summer, check out Toya Grid Pergola Kits. You source the lumber locally and can assemble this modular system in as little as 30 minutes. Check the video description for links to videos and more information about Toya Grid.